Good evening, my fellow exorcists, and welcome to the Lair of the Film Exorcist. Tonight I will be reviewing Paprika, alone, since Cinema Witch can't be here this time, since she's getting her car fixed. Actually, it was Cinema Witch who loaned me the movie and recommended I watch it, so let's get into it. The movie takes place when a machine that allows therapists to enter their patients' dreams is stolen. All hell breaks loose. Only a young female therapist, Paprika, can stop it. Now, here's the weird part. There's this big weird fight between the movie Inception and Paprika where it's... people are still deciding if Inception was a copy of Paprika or just took inspiration from it, but Paprika came out in 2006, and Inception came out in 2010, so I can kind of see the confusion with if it stole from it, or if it's just supposed to be its own movie. But anyway, this movie is kind of weird, because it deals with the idea of what's different, or the difference between dreams and reality. I mean, we literally have a part in this movie where the climax is that due to the villain infecting the world with dreams and essentially becoming a god of dreams, similar to Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare on Elm Street, he tries to merge reality with the dream world. In doing so, I think it kind of destroys the city, but also I can't tell if that was actually a dream sequence. The lines between reality and the dream world are kind of hugely blurred because we don't know what actually happened, but we also don't know what has happened. Mainly the movie follows this company, this group of inventors that created this helmet called the DC Mini, which they use to essentially go into people's dreams, help them overcome their fears, overcome their nightmares. It was essentially built to help the world and help therapists understand their patients more and help them work on their problems. But someone ends up stealing the Dream Mini, or the DC Mini, which I just for some reason want to call it the Dreamcaster Mini, because DC, when you hear that and when you're dealing with technology, you kind of think of the Nintendo Dreamcast. But yeah, let's just call it the Dreamcast Mini from now on. It's infecting a bunch of the workers in the company because their dreams are linking up with other people's dreams, but also whoever's in charge or stole the Dreamcaster essentially messed with their minds while they were testing it. And we actually learn, and yes, this is a spoiler, the actual culprit is the only one that can save the world is the detective Tanakawa, Monakawa, who, I'm saying his name wrong. Konakawa, who is dealing with his own problems, trying to find the culprit, but also dealing with his past as a movie director who abandoned his friend and left the movie business because he lost confidence and ended up becoming a detective, which, a weird coincidence, he essentially finishes his movie that he never finished with his friend before his friend died, by becoming a detective, because the movie they never finished was about a detective and his friend who becomes a criminal, and they're essentially going through their life, and we do get kind of a payoff at the end where Kanakawa is still in the dream world, and he gets confirmation from his ex-partner that he's essentially doing what they wanted to do. He is finishing the movie. So yeah, he gets closure. That was an interesting sequence in there. We actually start with the detective and Paprika, and it actually confused me a bit because they start us right in the dreams, but also we haven't met the main cast. Well, we're meeting the main cast, but we haven't really learned anything yet before we just get shoved into the dream, which I guess some filmmakers like doing that. I also, actually back to the story before I mention the art style, we essentially are also taken through the idea that the large guy who invented the DC Mini or Dreamcast Mini, Tokita, regrets making it because it's making people sick and it's being used for these crimes, and he's actually voiced by in the English dub, he's dubbed by the same guy that plays Kirito, which actually was a fun Easter egg that I found, because he's essentially not the hero in this movie. He's just taking like a back seat. He's the damsel in distress that our main character, Paprika, is trying to, one of our main characters is trying to save from the dream world. And we also learn later on that Paprika is essentially the alter ego of the main doctor in this movie, the female doctor, Inoue, who, or as they call her, Chiba, who helped build it and has been using it for psychology and therapy, and has been trying to help the detective overcome his trauma. And she's been in love with Tokita for a while and refuses to tell him until he's essentially trapped in the dream world, and she's got to go in. We see during the sequence where the dream world and reality are merging, we see Paprika and Chiba as they argue and essentially discuss who's truly in charge. Is it Paprika, the spice, or is it Chiba, the human being? I mean, essentially Paprika and Chiba are the same person, just one's the stern, worrisome doctor, while the other one is this fun, excitable detective. So they are two sides of the same coin. I actually like this sequence because it's essentially, to quote Michael Jackson, she's arguing with the man in the mirror and asking her to change her ways. And you can kind of see that because Chiba's accepting her feelings for Tokita, and she's accepting that without Paprika, she wouldn't be the person she is today. And through doing this, she also ends up becoming the guardian of the dreams and saving reality from the head of the company and essentially saving the world. Honestly, to quote cinema, this is a mindfuck and it's confusing as hell. And when I was asking her a question, she even told me that the more you question the movie, the more confused you will be, and the harder it will be to explain it. And it is kind of hard to explain it because it's a dream movie, and it's like most dreams in reality. You can't always interpret or understand the dreams you have. You just gotta go with it and enjoy life or enjoy the dreams that you have. you can't overanalyze everything. And again, this is something that Chiba had to do in this movie. She, after connecting with Paprika, essentially getting her spice back, she learns to not overanalyze everything anymore, just to accept herself more. And I love how Chiba and Paprika also feel like this separate entity, despite being the same person, essentially. And I also like the multiple costume changes in the dreams. Like, Paprika goes from this airbender looking character when she goes into the dream, and then she transitions into a fairy, and then a mermaid, and then a griffin. And they've really worked hard on this movie. I also like the art style. It's very Studio Ghibli-esque. When I was reading a review, they said that it's essentially very similar to Spirited Away. You got the adventure, you've got the supernatural dream ethics, and you also have the reality. And this is a really good movie, and it is very artistic, and I do love it. And I am glad that cinema let me borrow it, because now I kind of want to watch Inception and see how much of a mindfuck that is, because this was really good, and I'm glad I got to watch it. I'm giving it a triple plus.
Yes! 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 Yes!
Because, yeah, this was a really... Actually, you know what? I'm sorry I gotta say this, but I'm lowering it down to an A+.
No! No! No!
Because the villain, there is still that problem with the one villain that just comes out of nowhere. You only see him for like one scene in the real world, and it just doesn't make sense why he'd be a villain if we barely know him. And then the chief isn't a bad villain. I mean, he's essentially controlling. He did say he wanted to end the project. He wanted to end everything because he's trying to protect the dream world, and he's trying to protect his interests, and he's being selfish, where Paprika and Chiba together are essentially, they mean well, and they're trying their best to help the world with their innovations. But yeah, A+, and there's not really much else I can say about this. It's just a really good movie, and you just have to watch it to understand. But yeah, have a great night, and thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and click the little notification bell for more videos, and to get notifications for our videos. And have a great night, and stay fabulous. And be careful when you dream, because sometimes your dreams can become reality.